We've got reports of fake Ray Allen autos out there, and we've got a 5-card SGC reveal that we'll talk through. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. How we doing? It is another day. It is another sports card video. If you're new here looking for daily sports card content, hobby talk, hobby news, card talk, etc., you have come to the right place. Please hit the big red button down below, the subscribe button. And if you do like what you hear, the like button helps us. So please hit that like button. I would very much appreciate it. Also connect with me on IG, Instagram at SportsCardDad, and I'm also on Twitter, the SportsCardDad. All right, Sports Collectors Daily recently reported here that we have got some fake Ray Allen autos, and you might be wondering, yeah, but how do you know that they're fake? Well, because Ray Allen himself said that they are fake. I thought this was really interesting. So basically, these were jerseys that were being sold, I believe, maybe through eBay, and a friend of Ray Allen reached out to him and was like, hey man, did you see this? This is kind of interesting. And Ray Allen was like, I did not sign those. And if you look kind of at the description, it says that they're custom jerseys. They have no brand names or logos. They're not associated with any sort of professional league. And it does come, though, with a certificate of authenticity from PAAS. I'm not exactly sure anything about PAAS. But this, I'll be honest, like this sort of thing kind of reminds me of what it looked like in the late 80s and early 90s. I remember going to card shows in the mall when people would actually go to shopping malls. I know people don't normally do that now. We've got Amazon. You can just order it. But yes, shopping malls, there were massive card shows in just, regional, local shopping malls. I was in Panama City, Florida, and the Panama City Mall had a ton of card shows. Like every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks, there would be card shows there. Tables throughout the entire mall. It was really cool. But one thing back then that was popular, it wasn't necessarily autographed cards, I remember, but it was like 8x10s that were signed by celebrities, movie stars and different things. And they were everywhere, and they did come with certificate of authenticity from wherever. They kind of just came out of the woodwork. I wouldn't say that there was a defined company or set of companies that were like, these were the companies that we go to, at least not that I remember. And again, I was young, so maybe there were, but there was also a lot of scandal. There was I think it was an FBI bust, but basically there was one guy that got really good with like Mickey Mantle autos and a bunch of other autos, but amazingly good to where you really couldn't tell the difference. And he was churning them out at a crazy pace. And so, that is something that has been kind of a stain on the autographed sports memorabilia and non-sports. If we're talking about, celebrities and not athletes, but celebrities and actors and stuff like that, is there was just a ton of bogus stuff floating around, and a lot of it was confiscated, a lot of it was destroyed, etc. But, that didn't help. That didn't help, especially when you kind of had the overproduction from the junk wax era, as it's referred to, in the 80s, 90s. And then you throw on the back of that, you've got fake autographs and stuff going on back then. And now, I don't know if it's as bad. I think that there's a lot of people that are just well aware of this sort of thing now. And it's being sold online, so it's not as if someone's selling out of the back of their truck or they set up a booth real quick at a show and they can scurry off with it. It's sitting there online for people to look at, kind of see like, hey, this is kind of odd, and especially on eBay where you've got, millions of eyes on it. If it's something that doesn't quite look right, a lot of times it'll be found out. And it kind of reminds me, I do like the custom art cards. I like that. But when I see kind of like custom cards that are advertised with patches or autos, once you start throwing memorabilia in there, and then it's like, might be real or might not be real, or, it's kind of like a funky thing where it's like a reproduced auto. It's like, that's just not a good idea. There's a reason why you have kind of all these licenses in place. And now, especially too, it's funny because Ray Allen is really the one himself that called this out. And I think that's going to be more and more the case now that with Fanatics taking over, you have also the player associations are getting a piece of this pie. these players are going to be well aware. They're going to be paying attention to this stuff a lot more because they're getting more of a cut. It's not just the league that's getting a cut of this. It's going to be the players. And so, stuff like that is taking money out of their pocket essentially. So they're going to be paying more and more attention to it, I think. And so I just thought that was interesting because it was an actual player that called it out. It wasn't, a fan or a collector. It was the player himself, Ray Allen, that was like, hey, I did not sign that. All right, moving on to the SGC Reveal. We're going to kind of walk through the whys of kind of why I graded these cards, what the cards are, etc. We're going to start off with some non-sports. And it's actually going to be Marvel stuff. So you've heard of all the PMG stuff. There's all been the craze about the PMG. They came out of the 2013 Fleer Retro, the Fleer Marvel Retro set. And so that's really all you hear about with those. And so what I did is instead of going after the PMGs, I was looking at what are some of the other rare inserts in that set that are interesting? Well, it just so happens that there's an insert card from the 1990, 91, 92 Impel sets, which for me, those are like big time nostalgia. Loved those as a kid, the original sets. And so what they did is they had basically a recreated version. So this one in particular is the Hulk. This is a 1991 Impel recreation. It's the insert. So they have the regular insert card and then they have the auto version. The auto version in 2013 Retro is 1 out of 760 packs for the 91. So the way that it goes is you have the 1990, which is 1 out of 576 packs. The 91 is 1 out of 720 packs, and then the 92 version is 1 out of 960 packs or something like that, 920 packs. Anyway, they're rare. Think about the boxes I believe have 20 packs in them, and they're like $4,000 or $5,000. So 20 packs, this is 1 out of 700 packs. It's a rare card. You just don't see them. So got it at a reasonable price. Again, when you compare the prices to the PMG prices, not even in the same world. And so I've been picking these up, the 90s, the 91s, and the 92s. This one, I got lucky. It's a 10 auto grade with a 10 card grade. I'm just going to stick this one in the PC. I like that 2013, that retro set is an important one for Marvel card collectors. And it's just cool. They've got a lot of cool, inserts and cards in that one. So along the same lines, actually, we'll stay with 13. So this is the 92 version. So this is 1 out of 900 something packs. The thing that's funny is you're seeing a bunch of huge sales on Spider-Man Jambalaya. I think that one just sold maybe through Golden or one of these auction sites for huge money. The Jambalayas are 1 out of 200 packs. They're 1 out of 200 packs. This is 1 out of 900 packs. And, and it's Hulk. It's an auto. Granted, I know it's not a Jambalaya or a PMG that can be compared to those 90s versions from sports, but it's still a really rare card. This is a more rare card than the Jambalaya by far, really. And so I got that 10 auto grade and then the 9 card grade, kind of a tougher grade with this one. It's got a darker border. And again, you just don't see them. This one, Doctor Strange, is from the 2015 set, so actually a lot more common in that set. Still not as common. I mean, it's still out of, I think, 1 out of 80 or 100 packs or the auto versions. And so I got a Doctor Strange 10 auto grade and a 9 regular card grade. I just thought that the card itself was cool. And then, of course, you got the auto attached to it, got it graded. Just a cool card to hold on to. All right, I opened a couple of boxes of this set with one of my buddies, Dave, at the National. And if you're a football person, you would recognize this. So 91 Pro Line Portraits. Okay, so these are inexpensive boxes. I think these boxes are $25, $30 each. And what the big chase card is the autograph. So it's the Jerry Rice autograph. The way that you can tell if it's real or not is it's got kind of a stamp down here that says certified autograph. There have been attempts to fake these and so forth. So it is what it is, but I believe these, I've done a lot of research. This set might be the first ever auto cards, pack pulled auto cards for football, period. Because 1991, you go back, there are some other 91 sets that also have autos, but there aren't any from 1990 that I can see. Maybe I'm missing it. There's none from 89 because there's none in 89 Pro set, 89 Score. So pack pulled autos, that was a new thing in 1991. So these are cool. I've collected a few of these. I've got Bruce Smith. I've got Thurman Thomas. Got this one graded. A lot of them are beat up just because no one really took care of these. Got the 10 auto grade, which is cool. And then 8.5 is actually a pretty decent grade for this card. And of course, a lot of people talk about football cards. Well, they're always wearing their helmets, so you don't really get to see their face like with basketball. Well, this is a great pick of a young Jerry Rice. This is about 5 years into his career. He's got the 90s kind of like starter jacket, the track suit type thing going. So this set is really cool. It also has kind of a quote from him on the back. All the players have quotes that are interesting. The first line says, "Joe Montana and I have a great relationship." Well, you don't say. You don't say. It actually turned out pretty good for these guys. And last but not least, the King. I like getting these autos and getting these graded. This is a gold version. It's press pass. Is it from 2004? Yeah, it's numbered out of 50. It's the gold version. There's a few different versions of this card. I got a 10 regular card grade and then an 8 regular card grade and a 10 auto. I like this stuff because it's very inexpensive. I think this card was $40 or $50 when I purchased it. It's cool to get the 10 auto grade. If you can get it, if you can get that from SGC, if it's a good looking auto. Kind of tough with Richard Petty because he just has such a big auto, and this one's in gold pen, which is pretty cool. But I like doing, as you can see, there's a pattern here. I like the fact that if you have a 10 auto grade, you just automatically get that as part of your submission, with SGC. So just kind of cool. I do a lot of auto cards, as you have seen. So this rounds it out. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Did you buy any of the Ray Allen autographed jerseys? Did you buy all those up? Also, I saw too that some of them had sold in the article from Sports Collectors Daily for like $100. Look, if there's a Ray Allen jersey that's really autographed, it's not going to be $100. You can't even go to Champ Sports and buy like a throwback jersey for Ray Allen for less than a couple $100. So if the deal is too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me here today. Have an amazing rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.